page, but now I'm always paranoid about it, so I guess I'm going to let it play until the commercial comes on. So, just gotta wait like an arbitrary 30 seconds before I'm sure. And, oh, okay, well, I did forget something, and that something is my playback device. So, set as default playback device. Okay, so we should be good now. Alright. Hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is May 23rd, and this is the May 23rd TextQuest Devstream. So, today we're going to just be starting out quickly going over some of the changes that I did to the load menu since the last time we took a look at it on Thursday? Yes, Thursday. And we will also do a couple of minor UI revisions on that, just to make things sort of fit together a little bit better. And then we might move on to conversations, specifically the starting level troll conversations, and what that workflow is going to look like. So, for now, let's go ahead and... Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, well, let's try this. I also updated a couple of assets before the stream today, so we'll be seeing if that's going to cause issues. Hopefully not. Thank you, ProBuilder. I tried to make a build, and I guess there's some scripts inside of Polybrush, which is a ProGrid or ProCore asset. That's, I'm assuming, referencing something in an editor folder because it threw a null reference saying that something doesn't exist, which is usually indicative of an editor folder. So that's great. That means I'm going to have to edit asset store code to make builds, which is, you know, something you really want to do whenever you're working. And let's also hope that it's not going to take the long route of re-importing absolutely everything. It probably is, because of how long it's taking. Oh, nope, there we go. Yeah, I love it. That's an error that I've run into before, but I never know what causes it. It's you can't enter play mode until compilation errors are fixed, but it doesn't tell you what the compilation errors are because they don't really exist. So now if I try to play, it should be fine. At least I really hope so. If not, I'm going to be quite concerned and very angry. So, let's see. Well, while we have... Okay, there we go. Probably turn off stats. Oh yeah, I've also changed it so that if you do not have a save file... Oh man, that is such a bad, obnoxious hang. I gotta figure out what's doing that. But if you don't have a save file, then it's going to preload the castle materials, because if you notice, there's this really odd problem with... I don't know if it's specifically the castle or if it's just all levels in general, but something about the way how substance files are not properly generated by default causes global illumination problems. I don't know why. It's very frustrating, but it's a thing, and it usually leaves a giant blue tint on all of the shadows. Or a green tint, or some arbitrary color, and it's something that I need to figure out exactly what's going wrong. But it doesn't throw any warnings or errors, so it's been very difficult to hunt down. Alright, so pretty much the loading screen is similar to what it was last week. I have added the location to the label, so that it's a little bit easier to tell what it is. It's not just autosave, autosave, autosave name. I have changed our time readout to be military time, so you can see it's 22:23, which would have been 10:23 p.m. And that's largely for space because the label was just long enough with double-digit times that it would wrap around, basically, causing problems. But I figured this is a nice way to, you know, give a little bit more information and keep things short and concise. Typing things in. Now see if you want to load or delete the save file that you've selected. If you type load, it's going to say, are you sure you want to load? If you type delete, it will ask, are you sure you want to delete? And again, of course, you can navigate these with the Y and N keys. And of course, if you enter this and you just hit cancel, then it's the same as you would expect. So main thing that we're going to do to start off is just going to be some simple adjustments here, which is largely going to be making these buttons not float so far from the left. I'm not entirely sure why they are floating so far from the left. But you can see that it causes this odd sort of placement of the button because the hover cuts off over here, but then it also clips through over here underneath our scroll bar. So I'm gonna change that just so it looks a little bit nicer. Ideally, I would have something like this where it's across the entire width, and we might see if we can get that to work. Obviously, this loading bar is going to be scroll bar is going to be a bit of an issue because it blocks raycasts. So if I only have 2 or 3 options up here, or let's see, I think the minimum maximum that you can have as a single player, like if no one else plays it and if you don't make new save games, is 4. You get 3 auto saves and a manual save file. I was debating actually this past weekend if I wanted to add quick save and quick load. And I think for now I've decided against that. I don't feel like it's good to have quick save and quick load in an adventure game. Not that it really matters, because you can save whenever you want anyway, so it's just a little bit more tedious than doing a quick save, quick load. But for now, I decided to just not implement a quick save. I don't think it's really that necessary for this type of game. So let's see. Is there anything else I want to do with this? Nope. I think we're in a good spot. Go back. We might also change a little bit actually how save files are generated, and that largely has to do with how user IDs are generated. Because right now I think it's a really stupid way that I did it, which is just an arbitrary random number. And the reason I did that is I wanted to make sure that if you were a user, like if you put in your name and someone else had a similar name to you, I didn't want you to overwrite each other's files. So I just gave you a random number, I think between 100,000 and 999,999. Because it's unlikely that 2 people with the same name will ever get the same random number generated there. It's 1 in 900,000 roughly. But I have a much better way of doing that now, which is just name plus seconds since epoch, because that number will always tick up. So unless 2 people with the exact same name create a save file create a new game at the exact same time, then it's not going to be an issue. Hopefully. Anyway. So let's see here. We're going to turn on our UI. Let's look for our view prefabs. Custom, no, loading view. Pull this up. Oh wait, that's the wrong thing. I don't want loading, I want the loading view. Let's see here. View. Where are you? Load game. There we go. Try that again. Alright, there it is. And just for convenience, I'm going to grab the save game button prefab and put it where it should go, which I believe is right here. So save game button, put that right there. That way we know what everything looks like. I am also going to change its normal color to be white-ish. That way we can see what we're doing. We're not going to apply changes to the save game button. I'm just using it for a visual aid. Let's see here. So content grid, do I have padding? Is that what's doing it? No, I do not have padding. It's just from the left. Okay, so if I zero that out. Where are you? What are you doing? Okay, you're being mean. There we go. Yep, that's pretty fine. From the right, we could probably just do straight up 0. That's fine. Okay, so that's a simple fix. And the next thing I want to do is probably, let's see here. It's probably going to be trying to handle the scroll bar. It's not a huge issue for now. I might leave that in. Nah, nah. I feel like it's good UI design to not have scroll bars when they're not being used. So let's see here. I'm pretty sure that the reason. Oh wow, this is actually really old now that I think about it. This scroll grid was made with the old way that Unity made scroll areas. Because before or now, if I create a scroll area, where are you? Scroll view. It's all this stuff. It has a viewport and a content, and viewport and content are two different things. Um, whereas before they were the same thing. So this content is my viewport. Oh, I guess I don't have a viewport because the viewport is the mask area, which before was just the scroll area, as you can see here. Not that it matters. Let's get rid of that. So let's see here. What do I want to do? Let's open the script up. And sort buttons. Final references, delete game, generate buttons. I guess we'll put it in the actual sort buttons thing because that happens after you delete a button or delete a save file, which might mean you don't need a scroll view anymore, or rather you don't need a scroll bar. So let's see here. I should have a scroll view that I'm referencing now. It's save file grid. Save file grid dot. I'm curious if we have a good way of doing this. I don't think we do. I could just. I guess if it's 0 or if it's 1, then it would be correct. Right? If it's no, that wouldn't make sense because that's not a good way of judging it. Okay. Well then, I wonder if we do actually have a good way of doing this. Let's see, animation, calculate layout, input. No, I don't need that. Liner, compare tag, acceleration rate, blah blah blah. Flexible width. Really, they have flexible width and flexible height directly on that? Huh, that's interesting. They must have changed that at some point. So get hash code, instance ID, graphic update complete. I think that's a function. Yep. GUI element, GUI textures, hide flags. One of these things is going to be different if we're lucky. Because I don't think normalized position or any of those values will really be a good indicator of what it is. If it's visible or if it has more. On initialized potential drag, particle system change, preferred width, preferred height, rebuild, render. Edit mode, scroll sensitivity, message upwards, frontals, layout vertical. No, that's not gonna be a thing. Tag, string transform. We're entering the end. That's not great. Oh, interesting. You can get the velocity. That's actually kind of nice. But yeah, okay. Well, then how would we want to do that? I suppose I could kind of cheat and simply say if the save buttons are if there's more save buttons than a certain amount, that means it's going to have to scroll. So I might do that. It's a nice, effective way of doing it. So we'll have that compile real quick. Then we'll make a couple of duplicate save buttons. So duplicate. Come on, Unity. You can do it. Duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. 5, it looks like. Yep. And then we get the wonderful null reference null, which is a wonderful editor error. Hooray. Okay, so if it's greater than 5, we will set that to be visible. Now I wonder The real question here is, can I turn you off? No. That's what I was kind of worried about. Ah, that always sucks. Jeez. I guess I could just try auto hide and see if that does it. I mean, if we're lucky, it won't restrict our content width or anything like that. Sometimes it does that, but I don't know. All right, we'll give that a shot and see what it looks like in motion. So let's hit apply. Turn this UI off. Great way to debug. And I'm going to turn on the audio on the video just so that I can be sure that it's actually recording my mic. Oh, good. Because that always worries me now. Start. Load. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, that does the job. So let's get a couple of more saves in here. Ugh, I don't know what was up with that hang. Oh, I actually bet that was the environment updating the global illumination. It takes too long. Let's see here. I'll run through here. God. I'm going to have to go back and redo the modeling in this thing. And I don't say that as like it's bugging me. I say that as in apparently you just can't have separate meshes that are supposed to be an entire building because Unity will flicker everything. It might be difficult to see on the stream, but if you look at the seams of everything, you'll see little dots flicker in and out of existence. That's just, I guess, creases, or not creases, but sort of gaps that form due to mesh errors in Unity, and it causes problems. So you can see one right there. If I don't move, they don't go away. So it's far left row of tiles on the ceiling, second tile from the top, the black tile. There's a little blue dot right there, and that means that I'm looking through the mesh into the sky. It's very infuriating, and it is far more noticeable when you're playing because you can see these dots just kind of pop in and out of existence. It's very infuriating. So I'm going to have to fix that somehow. Anywho, let's play through until we get to... that was a much more noticeable bit of lag. We're going to get through to the sewers. That way we can have multiple save states in multiple areas. See what that looks like. And then we'll be able to make sure that all of the loading stuff looks right. We might start another game to make sure that... Alrighty then. Let's go through here. Actually, I want to... Yes! Alright, we still got the S effect on. I gotta get rid of that. Okay. Did that fit on one thing? Yes, it did. Good. Alright. Open. Spoilers. If you have not played the demo, I just spoiled a puzzle for you. Oh, apparently I need to rebake light maps in this level. Not surprising. I did update versions to 5.6.1, I believe is the new version of Unity right now. God, what is... This level loading is really bad, even though it's streaming. I don't know why it's lagging like that. Alright, anyway. So that's probably good. Let's go ahead and save. Save. Let's quit out. Alright. start. Let's go to load. Take a look at this stuff. Oh, huh. That, I didn't even think about that, but that's actually, oh, never mind. False alarm. I thought for a second that it was using the, like the camera you can see here. I thought I was using one of those, but I think it just so happened that I happened to be angled like that. So yep, we are looking pretty good. I think we need one more save file before we get, oh man, that sucks. You can only have, there's only 3 autosave files in the entire game. So if another user makes a save file, then they're going to get the autosaves. So I actually need at least 3 users before we can see the scroll bar over here. So we're going to have to make a bunch of different users. Hooray. Okay, sit back. We'll do a new game. Let's see, what's our name going to be? It'll be Greg. Why not? Greg is a cool hero's name. Yes, we'll do normal. We'll do right-handed. He will be red. And, of course, Greg is a hero. So, let's start the game. Alright, start. There it is again. So this is the blue tint I was talking about with the global illumination system. Its color seems to change depending on the version of Unity, but currently it's green. In the past it's been, or I'm sorry, currently it's blue. In the past it's been green, and I don't know what causes it. I don't know how to fix it. I thought telling the environment to update would work, but I don't think that's the case. I think I actually have to update the individual objects. Ugh, of course I do. Anyway, so let's go ahead and save as Greg, and then we can quit. Yes, I'm sure. Alright, let's start again. Look at our load screen. So we got good. We're going to do one more. New game. Blade Runner's coming out. Why not? Is Chris spelled with one S? I think it's spelled with one S. Yes. Chris will do Sierra mode. That way I can double check the colors on the numbers. Oh, right. I think, let's see. Hold on. We'll make her left-handed. She'll be blue, I guess. I don't know what color. Blue. Hero, yes, and yes. All right. Take a look at this. Start. See, and the second time you load the level, it's fine. It's really weird. I don't know why that happens. I want to double check something. Okay, just making sure that that stuff initialized properly. Let's save. We will quit, and quit. Okay, let's get through here. Type start, and let's do loading. Yep. All right. Good. Good. I probably need to increase the speed that the scrolling happens, but I don't know how I feel about this. How close it is. It's practically beneath the back button, but also it's funny that you just get this sliver of a save file here. Let's see. So that works out pretty well. Castle, sewers and sewers. All different colors, all numbers. Chris, the color did not go. That's not good. So that means that color is not updating properly. I'm very glad I tested that. If a save file is made on normal, it should be yellow. If it's made on Sierra, it should be red. So, okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So let's go ahead and stop. Let's go back here. Yeah, it's weird. Right here, I even say it. Is it hard set? No, that wouldn't make sense. Why would it be hard set? Let's see here. Debug.log save buttons I dot difficulty. Just want to make sure. Okay. Let's go ahead and clear that stuff out. Come on. You can do it. Alright. Let's see what ends up happening. Let's go through this. Start. Load. Interesting, we got some errors. Yeah, Sierra right there, and I'm guessing that the color thing happened because of this. Load game view on save button, hover. Load game view 362. Load game view 362 down here. Preview image. Ah, crap. That's what it is. That is most unfortunate. So my guess is that the hovering is happening pretty much right away, but the code needs not a lot of time, probably about a frame, to properly load in and read the image. And in that time, it looks for the image at a specific path, but does not exist. So that's unfortunate. What to do about that? I guess I would have to do this. Hey, that's not great. Preview images dot contains key. Ugh, it's gross. So if it actually does contain those keys, then we will allow it to load. Do I need to do anything? Cache preview image. Alright. So let's save that out. Oh crap. Do I need this to be referenced anywhere? No, then I think I'm going to move this below here. We're going to say, I group this preview image stuff inside of that, because we don't want it to show up with a empty sprite. That's just going to be a bright white square, which is not ideal. So, but that error might have been breaking the color coding. Would not surprise me. So let's try that again. Start, load. Dang it! It's not. All this stuff is right, but crap, that's not good. Then why is it doing that? Let me actually take a look at the UI. The only thing I could think is that it's getting color coded with tags for some reason. Let's see, view container. We want load game. What's that? There we go. Content, scroll area, content grid. Hit F here, take a look at it. Alright. Inspector, save game button, info label. Hold on. Let's see. They are the same color. That is interesting. So that must be a what? Huh. That has to be a issue with my color parser then. They're all yellow all the time. They used to be red sometimes. And it's saying that it's Sierra, but it's clearly coming off wrong. So let's take a look at this again. Let's stop playing. Let's see here. Save buttons of I dot difficulty. Is it equal to? Oh, duh. because it was looking for hard and not Sierra. So that would be why. That's, I feel foolish. Alright, let's try that again. So we can see here that it's Sierra. That was my fault. I was just being stupid. Okay, let's see. Well, we have our obligatory 5 minutes while Unity despawns everything. Really got to work on that stuff. I do not know why it takes so long. Come on. You can do it, Unity. Alright. Let's go ahead and clear this stuff out. Take a look at this. See if that fixes our little problem. Start. Load. There we are. So, yep, we get... Very good. Very good. Yellow is our normal games, and red is our Sierra. Should I... Maybe I should put a difficulty indicator in the UI preview image over here. Where would I put it, though? I might be able to put it like here, so just above the date. That seems like a decent place to put it. So I'll do that. Let's give that a shot then. Let's see here. So I can get rid of this because I don't need to go across multiple things. On save button, hover enter. Date label.text. Okay. This is where it's going to get a little interesting because we're going to have to do crud. Crud. I'm going to come up here and make some constants. Because I have a lot of them in this menu, apparently. Let's see here. Private const string. What do I want to call it? Normal difficulty. No, we'll do difficulty normal. Difficulty normal equals this private const string difficulty underscore Sierra. Do that. So normal Sierra. All right. Copy this. We're gonna go way down here again. Say that. And then difficulty Sierra. Simple as that. And I think I'm just gonna do this. Boom. Get rid of all this stuff. Shorten our code a little bit. What is the next place? I guess I'm just going to have to copy this whole thing, which is a little unfortunate. I didn't want to do that. Because that's a string value. I guess I could... That's fine for now. Let's see here. Let's say button hover. Alright, we're going to add a new label. Public text mesh pro UGUI difficulty label. Alright, final references. Where are you used? Right here is fine. Let's see. Difficulty label dot text is equal to nothing. Come up here and okay. So here going to say button here. Oh, nope, say button. Come on, there you go. And don't need the eye. Alright, let's see here. So difficulty label dot text is equal to what do you return? I'm pretty sure you return the actual full color tag. Okay. Come on. Yes, good. Okay. Actually, fun fact, we're going to change this a little bit. All the way up here. Let's see here. Get rid of a bunch of stuff except for you, which is going to be text. Because I'm going to make that a string builder. Haha! Ho ho! Oh my goodness, there is a lot of... Oh, ho ho ho! I have a lot of optimizations to do in these areas. I've been ignoring these for a long time. And they are clearly showing that age. Let's see here. We got all of our colors in here. And here we are. So we're going to make this a string builder. Color hex equals new string builder. Ta-da. And then here we're just going to say dot append. That way I'm not always... this is going to be fun. That way I'm not always rebuilding strings and causing inefficiencies and a ton of garbage collection. So this will actually probably help performance quite a bit. That's quite exciting. I know that like no one cares, but it's very exciting for me. Anytime I can eliminate these terrible oversights that past Chris and his idiocy made. He was quite the idiot. I can tell you that. But that's always the case. Past Chris is always an idiot. Oh, all the fun pasting that we're doing. Let's see. Well, while this is going on, is anything going on in the rest of the world? Kind of a quiet time for gaming. Vanquish is coming out soon. That's coming out 3 days? 2 days. It's coming out Thursday. It's going to be very hard for me to Devstream on Thursday because I'm going to be wanting to play Vanquish. Or Vanquished. Is it Vanquished or It's Vanquish. Either way, very fun game. Highly recommend it. I am getting it. And going to enjoy playing it. All the fun parentheses that has to be done. And there we go. Let's see here. One of these days we'll get to the end of it. You know, something we should do on today's Devstream, which might be pretty fun, is hidden color choices in the okay. Dot append hidden color choices in the new game menu and dot toString. Hooray! Much better from memory. I will not worry about it here, I guess. Okay. Anyway, text is equal to this color check plus global variables dot, I believe it's end color. Yeah, that's just a constant field. It's the end color rich text tag. Let's see here. We could also have so this is going to have to say normal. Difficulty normal. All right, simple as that. Plus all this fun stuff. It's going to say difficulty Sierra. All right. I think that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and let that compile. Clear this out. Let's turn on our UI. Come on. believe in you. Shazam! Abracadabra. Alright, let's see here. Save button prefab. Let's go to that. Or not that. I want you. Location label. Turn on our preview image. Let's go to our date label. Change that a little bit. So what am I going to do here? We're going to make it, text is going to be on the bottom, and then I'm going to give it an offset of 10, I'm guessing. Yep, that's about right. Let's see, our 24. Yep, so I can probably change our height to 30. Yep, 30 looks good. Let's duplicate this. Put that above it. This is going to be our difficulty label. All right, single out the scale. Left is going to be 10. Position will be 30. 40. Yeah, I think 40 is fine. 10 from the right, and we should be fine there. So let's do normal. Yep, that seems fine. And let's go ahead and assign that. So good there. Turn off preview image. Turn off our root. Apply these changes. Turn off our UI here. Save. Are you saving? You are saving. It just took forever, which is weird. Alright, let's see what that looks like. Load. Oh. I made it so that rich text was not a thing. Let's fix that. Of course, we're going to have to wait 5 minutes to fix it, which is very infuriating. Yeah, I really need to figure out what it is. Actually, I know that I need to run a performance test on my game to see how everything's doing. I really should put together like a benchmark scene. I probably could do that with the castle if I just had a fly-through of like the wizard turning the king to stone, and I don't know. I feel like I could do it, but we'll see. Let's. That would be a cool thing to do. That might be a good thing for Thursday. Benchmarking thing. Let's see. What was I gonna, okay, edit that stuff. Difficulty label. Turn you on. We're gonna go to extra settings and enable rich text. Right. That's normally a performance thing. Don't really need to worry about it. Just means that it doesn't have to perform color validation, I believe. With that stuff edited. Put this stuff in, hit start, load, and there we are. Oh, what the heck? Why is our font so screwy here? You can see that it's clipping out for some reason. Why is it doing that? Hold on. Pausing that. Let's go to UI, view container, load game, and date label. Are you... Okay. Very odd. Let's try moving it up. Huh. I feel like it... Oh, that's why. It's because the image is not exactly right. Okay. That's fair. I probably should also check this in 16:10 mode. I'm curious if that's going to give me different resolutions. I think it will, actually. Okay. Actually, no. Right now it's hard-coded, isn't it? So it wouldn't matter. Although it might stretch. No, it'd be fine. Okay. Gotta figure that out. What to do about that? There are a couple of things that I can do. Crap. I guess I'll just have to move it up further. Actually, no. I'm gonna have to test this. So I need to get a 16 by 10 image taken and see if that will actually work properly. So let's see. We're looking at session, I believe. Yes. So we're looking at image path, find all references, screenshot utility, right. And yep, crap. Okay. These probably should be constant values. So let's, where would I put those? UI? Not really. Okay. Let's go up here. I really don't want to put them in session. I really don't. So, geez, I honestly don't know. I guess screenshot utility would probably be a fine place for them. Definition. Let's say public const int thumbnail res width 16:9 is equal to 0 for now. Get rid of global variables, don't need that. Get rid of splash delay. And here we go, session. So 384. Copy this. Do 16 by 10. 10. Height. Height. I spelled height wrong. Second time. Spelled it height. Let's see here. Session. So 216. So our height there. Width, I'm assuming, is 384 as well. And this is going to be fun. Let's look for, let's see, common resolutions, I guess. Let's see here. We're looking at 16 by 9. So we want 384 roughly. Here, I'll drag this over so we can see it. Just looking at a list of resolutions. I also have this bookmarked in case I ever need it. So 384 by 288 is not 16. Do I have another one that's close to that? I'm going to look up 16 by 9. So I can find one. Here we are. So F. There's going to be a lot of that, isn't there? So 16 by 9. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that. Oh, that's interesting. It didn't find the correct ones. It must be using a special, or not umlaut, colon. Let's see here. So 480 by 230. Wait, what's my resolution here? 260. Okay. Hopefully we can find one that's smaller than that. But apparently not. Oh, wonderful. This is great. Let's see. We're getting bigger, so that's not going to help. Let's see. So 384. You know what? Screw it. We'll just do calculator. Calculator. So we're going to look for a 16 by 10. So was it 16 divided by? No, I'm sorry. Look at that. It'd be 9 divided by 16. That'll give you your width value. So I multiply. Was it 384? By 384, 216, pow. All right, so let's divide that by 384. Okay, multiply that by, oh, that's incorrect anyway. So we're going to say 10 divided by 16. There's our 16, or 10 by, or 16 by 10 multiplier. Multiply that by 384. We're given 240. All right. So 240. So we'll see if that ends up working. We have to come back down here to, where are you? Where are you? I do not know, so I'm going to have to look for it. Oh, right, it's in session, isn't it? Duh. All right, so this is going to be fun. Let's see here. We want to do... jeez. This is not fun. Screw it. Vector 2 thumbnail res is equal to new vector 2 0 0. All right, and then we're going to say if resolution manager. Do I not? What? All right, hold on. Global.get resolution. What the heck is going on? Where's resolution manager? Huh? I thought I wrote this. How's UI determining it then? Has UI just got something? Hold on. UI aspect ratios. Here we are. Find all references. Find all references. Oh, I guess it's just screen extensions. Okay. Huh. Fair enough. Screen aspect ratio is equal to aspect ratios dot 16 by 10. I'm only supporting 16 by 10 and 16 by 9 resolutions because it would be quite difficult for me to do anything else, really, UI-wise. Let's see here. We're going to say thumbnail res dot x is equal to screenshot utility dot what did I call it? Thumbnail res. There we go. Thumbnail res width. Yep. 16 by 10. Let's just copy that over. Thumbnail res height 16 by 10. All right. I'm just going to copy that and paste it down here. So thumbnail res width 16 by 9. Thumbnail res height 16 by 9. And then we're just going to say thumbnail res dot x, thumbnail res dot y, cast them to ints. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. I don't actually know what it's going to do. I think it's going to detect that my monitor is 16 by 9. So I'll have to manually adjust my resolution to be 16 by 10, and then we'll be able to test it. So we'll give that a shot. Great chance for us to make sure that all of our settings options still work. All right, let's go to play. Oh, right, hold on. 16 by 10. Alright, we're going to type start. Let's see, options, display. Uh-oh. What just happened? What's happening? It should be trying to display all of my resolutions, but... Wow! It did not like that. That was a lot of different resolutions, and it should not take that long. Although, to be fair, good God, this is a lot of resolutions. Huh. You know, it's funny. Oh, there it is. Okay, I was gonna say, it's funny. I'm not seeing any 4K resolutions, and I guess that's because it's probably saying my monitor can't handle that. But nope, there they are. They're up at the top. Oh wait, I have like a bunch. I have four. 1920 by 1080. What the heck is going on here? Okay. Well, we might. It's a good thing that I said we're tweaking UI stuff today, because we might change how we do this entirely, actually. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. So we're gonna just change how our display options work. It also looks like that's not using Text Mesh Pro. I could be wrong on that. Actually, it might be. It could just be that never mind. My glasses are just in need of cleaning. Looked a little soft. So yeah, that was weird. Each option has 4 times. Is on there 4 times. I don't know why that is. There must be something weird about it. Okay, let's go to UI. Let's get rid of load game. That stuff's working now. Let's see here. We want options, display options. This is actually a good excuse for me to change some of this stuff. Oh yeah, let's go to 16 by 9. Because I have been meaning to change how this is presented. That whole like massive list is not ideal. I think it really would be better to have a sort of arrow approach where I can go left or right. So let's go to content. Do I actually have? I do have more than this, don't I? Vsync. No, I don't. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I basically have the resolution that you're running at, the refresh rate, which is how fast your monitor refreshes, frame rate. You can lock it down to I believe 30, 60, 120, or unlimited, and full screen on or off. VSync is also just on or off. So we're gonna have to change how resolution works, because it's not really gonna be a button anymore. Also, it is weird to me that refresh rate here, it should automatically detect what your current resolution is, which includes your refresh rate. And if you only have one refresh speed, then it'll gray it out, so you don't try to change it. But my monitor should have more than one refresh speed. I can go up to 144 hertz. So that's odd that it was grayed out, if I remember correctly. Well, either way. Real quick, I'm going to open up display options view. And then I'm going to turn this off, and we're going to take a look at the actual view in motion again. Get a look. Well, actually, not before we do that. There are certain things that we can do. Mostly, hold on. Where are you? Main menu. I'm going to grab the color of our buttons here. So, are these the same? These might be the same if we're lucky. They are. Wait, they are? Then what was showing up? They were solid. They weren't solid black, or they weren't transparent. But they're told to be here. Did I do something stupid? Is there a button somewhere that I wasn't expecting? No. Okay. Well, let's keep an eye out for this then. Turn off this UI. Let's try this again, see what it looks like. Start. Options, display. Oh, right, it wasn't these, it was the resolution stuff that ended up doing that. But yeah, my refresh rate should be more than 60, so I don't know. Or, well, it should be default to 60, I believe. Oh, you know what it is? I bet it's the window. It's Windows. I think Windows will clamp your refresh rate on one monitor to the lowest monitor's refresh rate. I think that might be a setting that I have. Either way, let's see. By default, we should have 60 frames locked. It doesn't even tell you. Let's see. Unlimited. Oh God. I bet you can't really tell on the stream because I think I only broadcast at 30 frames per second. But oh man, it is night and day. And 120 just feels so responsive. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh man, yeah, you can see it in everything. Sorry, got a little bit lost there. Oh, and I guess I also need to make them not be navigatable. They're staying hovered whenever I click on them. Let's go back to 60 frames. Right. So scroll it all. I cannot. So I don't even need this really. But yeah. So as far as presentation of this goes, I think we're gonna want arrows. So little left and right arrows here. It would be nice. I can't really fit it on here though. It would be nice to have the aspect ratio be listed as well, but I don't think it has that. So, or like I'm sorry, that was a nonsensical saying. I don't really have room for it. If I add another row here, I'm gonna have to scroll, and it's not super great. I've tried to keep my menus for options to fit on one thing as much as possible. Although I don't think I have that actually working for graphics. Oh, right, because graphics are busted right now. Man, I really got to finish that stuff because it's all half working if I remember correctly. Like I think texture quality is working. Anti-aliasing is not right now. I know that. And shadow distance might be, and aniso filtering is. So these bottom three I think are, but our anti-aliasing just doesn't. Anyway, so yeah, I guess arrows. God, it would be really really nice if I had. Dare we do a field trip? It might be interesting to open up a couple of games on Steam to see how their options menus work. Okay. That might be something interesting to do. I might do that on the off time. So for now, I think I'm just going to put arrows here, and then we won't have aspect ratios listed for now. Because I could, in theory, put them here in like parentheses, but I don't have a lot of horizontal space to work with. I could probably move these over some, and that would help. Yeah. All right. We'll do that. And then we have our 10 minutes of waiting. So that's going to be interesting. It's going to change how this stuff works, kind of. So let's see here. We're not really going to have a single resolution button. Instead, we're going to have public event button. Prev-res, I guess. Prev resolution button. Public event button. Event button is just a class that I made. Next resolution button to extend the functionality of Unity's buttons. It handles stuff like hovering and letting things know that it's being hovered on. So I can do all of these wonderful text hints. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and open up our UI. So we're going to add 2 buttons here. Resolution button. Oh, come on. It's still compiling. Shazam. There we go. Section label. I think we want value label. It's going to change the size of it a little bit. And actually, I guess for now, for every single option here, I'm going to select the value label. And we're going to change its anchors from 0.55 to 0.5. Do I want to get closer than that? I could probably do 0.45. Yeah, that'll work. And that should allow me to squeeze in, I think, a resolution or an aspect ratio, so 16 by 9 or 16 by 10 here. So just to see what it looks like. 16, 10. Oh, well, nope, I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. Even shrinking this in. If I didn't have arrows that I was going to use, I could. But sadly, I do, and I can't. Great. That's not exactly wonderful. Because I don't mind getting rid of the spaces between the resolution, height, and width, but 16 by 10 is the widest that I have to support. And it's just too wide. If I get rid of the space here, maybe. No, this is not the widest I would have to support. The widest I would have to support would be this, 1920 by 1080. Yep, crap. That's not great. Okay. Well, man, that's really annoying. I could try doing something like this. It's not really going to work out very well now, is it? I can make it smaller. I could even make it up, like in the upper bounds instead of on the lower bounds. But that's not going to really help. Because then it would just be tiny, and I would prefer it to be centered, so how wonderful. That means that I'm going to have a separate label. Hooray. Hooray. Ooh, bloody ray. So let's see here. I'm going to save this out. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to call it our aspect label, I guess. Aspect label. Single out our scales. And top of one, bottom. Alright. Okay, so this one's going to be 16. Parentheses 16. I want to do colon or X. Alright, I'll do 10. Let's see here. And this is where it's going to get interesting. I'm going to disable you. Turn on our value label. And actually, this is going to be a super weird thing that I'm going to try to do here. Like, really weird. Okay. Geez, do I want to do that? It would help future-proof it, but I really doubt that that's going to be an issue for a long time. So, okay. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it for now. Nah, it's going to be fun, so I want to do it. I'm going to make this label be auto-adjustable for its width, and then both the aspect ratio and the buttons will actually react to the width of the resolution. So if it's wider, the button to the right will be farther to the right, and if it's, well, I guess it doesn't really matter on the left, but that way it'll always, you won't have overlap at any given time, you'll always be able to read your resolutions. And it shouldn't I mean, until we get to the 10,000 range of pixels, I seriously doubt that we're gonna have problems. So, uh, okay then. So let's do that. I'm gonna move this down here. I could probably actually turn off rich text. No. Oh, you know what? Actually, I guess I can't do that on any of my stuff. I kind of need rich text to always be enabled because of how all of these things. Oh no, actually, I guess I just tint the color. Either way, I'll leave it alone for now. So this is actually going to be different. We're going to do kind of a weird thing here too. So let's see here. We're going to add a layout. It's going to be a content size fitter, I believe. No, it's a layout element. Preferred width will be checked. We will turn this into a stretched vertically. Oh, no, that's not. Oh, what is it? I've done this in the past. I thought it was just this preferred width stuff. Let me change this to like 600. That changed this up here. It did not. Might not matter. Well, hold on. I'm trying to think about how I did this in the past. Well, I'll just look at it, won't I? Room node. Oh, really? Your preview is nowhere near here. Is that how it's going to be done? Let's see. Use prefabs. Map view. Room node. Here we are. So, okay. I guess I need to have a parent. That's a little unfortunate. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. That's fine, though. We can do that. Not really much of a problem. So, let's see here. We're going to need a new rect transform. That's going to be the size of our current label. Copy component, paste the component values. We're going to drag our value label under there. Yeah, I know it's going to break. Let's see here. We're going to have our resolution controls here. I don't know why I spelled it like that. Because it should just have one L. I was thinking of controller. Ta-da. Alright, let's see here. Resolution controls. And value label. Don't need to do anything there. Instead, I believe I just needed to have it be anchored. Yep. Okay. So we're going to change this to a horizontal layout group, child control size, left and or width and height. Let's see here. It's going to need a layout element preferred width, I believe, is what we're going to have to do. Is that right? So this one is interesting. Its width is there, but it didn't move. Why didn't it move? Hold on. What is going on here? Is it because you just didn't zero out properly? Wow. What happened here? What the freak? Ah, that's what it is, I think. So I actually want our anchor to be 1 and 1 here. There we are. Why is its width so wide? Hold on. Oh, I guess I don't use that there. Then. Oh, there it is. Constant size fitter. Bah! I forgot that part. I was gonna say, why is it? I can't fathom why I can't think of this. Because I need the actual content size fitter. Duh. Horizontal fit, preferred size. There we go. Aspect label, we're going to shrink that down to, I'm going to say 24. Ooh, that looks pretty good. Maybe 32. 24. All right. And it is centered, which is good. That's what I want. Its width will have to be changed a little bit as well, won't it? Yep. Fun. So I have to double down on that, kind of. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to create UI, like a button, I guess. No, it's going to have to be an event button, isn't it? Event button. Let's change the label. Event button. Is that looking for a... Oh, it is. Huh. Huh. Okay. Probably need to change my event buttons to use TextMesh Pro. That's fine. Let's see here. Let's go back from debug to normal. Let's duplicate you, put you down here in event button. Zero everything out. Zero you out. Let's see. Stretch you. Change your size to, I don't know, 24 probably. And we're just going to do this. Not a lot of stuff needs to change here. Although it does need to be center and centered. Okay. We'll just call this label. This is going to be our previous resolution button. Alrighty then. Background is probably going to be solid. And I'm going to say solid sliced is probably fine. Let's make it not fill in. I think that's fine. And this is where it's going to get kind of odd. Let's see. We're going to want it to be anchored to the left with our pivot to the right. Position of 0, a width of 50. Yeah, that looks about right. Is that what my other stuff is at? Yep, 50. All right. And I guess our label can probably be increased to 32. Yeah, that looks right. All right. And we'll give ourselves a position a little bit more spacing, so -10. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay. And I think that's fine. So I will probably actually need to do something real quick. Let's go ahead and add another background image here. So image, call it background. It's going to be a solid as well. Solid. Make it black for now, so it's a little bit easier to see. Have it stretched to fill. We're going to change our image up here to fill center. We'll change our background here to be 5 by 5, 5 by 5, a little bit thicker. Might go 4 by 4, 4 by 4. And one last thing, which is going to be changing our. Really, that's an awkward color. We're going to change our target. What am I doing here? Our target to be the background image. Okay, so here's where it's kind of going to get fun. I am going to go ahead and say open a new inspector down here. Wow, it's super tall. We're going to lock this inspector, and then I'm going to sample these colors. So, boom, boom, and boom. We're going to set our alphas to be 0 for disabled and normal colors. Crap, that means that I can't actually do, hold on, hold everything. Change our alpha to be full again. I can get rid of this inspector, so let's turn off lock and close tab. And I actually want to check on this. So let's turn this off again. Yeah, that's what I was a little worried about. I bet it's 2 by 2 on the borders. It's not great. I'll have to live with it for now. So that just means that I need to make my background 2 by 2 by 2. 2 by 2. Okay, we're going to change our normal color to be transparent. There we go. Yeah, that looks fine. Alright, so that's the left. Next we're going to need one on the right. So let's just duplicate this. One by one. It's going to be the opposite, so it's going to be anchored to the right with pivot to the left. Position of 10. And let's rename this as appropriate. Next, resolution button. And our label needs to now have the caret going to the right. Alright, last things last. Aspect label. Okay. It could probably just be a flat 75 from the left. Yeah, I think that's fine. God, this UI is a little messy though. Okay. We're about to have some fun here. Let's see. I'm gonna turn you down. And actually, back up here, I need to add a new label. Public text pro UGUI aspect ratio value label. Okay, I'm just going to assign these references real quick. That way I can collapse everything. I think I'm going to scoot everything over to the right a little bit again. Probably make it a 0.5 split down the middle. Because I have some extra space over here, and I don't think it's really going to be a problem with this. So, let's change. Probably make you 400. 200? Yeah, that's probably fine. Probably can go 150. Ta-da! Alright, let's see here. Display options, previous resolution button, next resolution button, and then our aspect label. Oh, and to double check this, let's go ahead and change this to like 5. There we go. So you can see that it's auto expanding and subtracting. And the fact that it can handle 2 characters means that even if we go up to, say, like one day 10,000 by 10,000, it will be able to do that. So, hooray. I always like whenever I can try to future-proof as much as possible. And that will future-proof for years to come. Alright, so now I can collapse that, and then I'm going to change these pivots again. So, instead of 0.45, let's try 0.5. Oh, I guess that would actually get rid of my future-proofing now, wouldn't it? But it does look a lot better. Can we go somewhere in the middle, 0.475? Yeah, I think that'll be fine. The main thing is I just didn't like how, so at 0.45, it was really close to overlapping with that, and I just need a little bit more space. So I think this will be fine, but real quick to test it. Yep. It sucks, but it's not the end of the world there. So, alright. Okay, so those are our UI setups. Now we actually need to get functionality working in here. Content grid, all that stuff's fine. Root, display options, and okay. Let's go ahead and turn off this root. I'm going to apply these changes real quick. All right. Now we do have to change some stuff. The main thing is that our resolution button is not really going to be a thing anymore. So we can pretty much get rid of that. Let's go to find all references. Click. It does kind of suck because I'm going to lose the tooltip for hovering over it. might just have to live with that. Actually, I bet I could do something with that. So, what if when I hovered, it didn't change the color necessarily of the full thing, but it did give me the tooltip. I will try to do that. So all I'm really going to do right now is just get rid of the on-click stuff. So I don't care if it clicks, but I do care if it hovers. I do want that stuff. And I guess I probably should have looked for on. Resolution button clicked. Here we are. So let's see here. We're going to say, was that the on-click thing or on? Huh. Wait, no. Weird. On button not on click. Why does on frame rate? Hold on. Yeah, button info. Okay, weird. Whatever. Oh, because that's the resolution button. That's not on resolution click. That's on resolution button clicked. Okay, I was deeply confused for a second there. I was like, why is it passing a parameter? It shouldn't be doing that. Let's see. So on resolution clicked is up here, right? So we're going to change this to private void on next resolution clicked. Private void on previous resolution clicked. Okay. And on this checking, I should probably set them to be not interactive, which is fine. Okay, what would I want to do next? I think expected behavior here is that it's just going to change the text here. Crap. I do have a bit of a problem now, don't I? So because the arrows are actually going to move along with the text, you might suddenly find yourself not clicking on it anymore. That's not good user experience. That sucks. That sucks a lot. The only real solution that I can have to that is I would have to make this label an arbitrary width and then have the text be centered in it. So the text could move around, but the buttons wouldn't. Which, gross. That would also really suck if I centered it, because then it wouldn't line up with this stuff. So that means I would have to have it pivoted to the left so that it remains in line, which means that I would just have space over here. Ah, darn you, UI principles and design principles of pleasing aesthetics. Crap, I'll leave it for now. And I'll see if I get frustrated working with it tonight. If not, I'll ask people what they think when I show it to them. Anyway, so this is going to be fun. Currently, if I do show resolutions, we're going to go to definitions, maybe container set active false res button blah 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 blah. Okay, so oh, no wonder it was really hanging up. I was really not doing a good job of that. Oh, geez, I was just adding a bunch of stuff. Well, I guess it was recycling, so it wouldn't be that bad second time through. But yep, that's not great. Screen.resolutions, huh? Okay, let's go up here to... Jeez. All right. Is that a array of resolutions, I assume? Yeah, okay. We're going to go up here. And we are going to just say private resolution. Nope, not that. Resolution. come on. Cached resolutions is equal to nothing for now. So we will populate this when it's opened for the first time. So cached resolutions are equal to screen.resolutions. All right. Then we'll just iterate through those. If we see doubled up resolutions again, I will probably have to come up with a better solution, like just making sure that they don't have the same measurement. I'm assuming that those, oh, actually, nope, yep, that would be it. That would be it. That's why. Okay. That's probably, I'm assuming. Nope, it just didn't care. Okay. So resolutions, like I said earlier, have not just width and height values, but also refresh rate values, which means that if you had a resolution with the same width and height but a different refresh rate, that is a different resolution. And that would explain why I had 4 different resolution types there. Okay. Because I bet I was doing 30, 59, 60, and 140. Well, no, actually, 30, 60, 120, 144? No. More likely it was 30, 59, 60, 144. Because my monitor goes up to 144. 120 isn't a standard. It's 60 to 144. There's nothing between them. And PAL regions use 59 refresh rate instead of 60. Anyway, so we want to cache those, but that's actually not good enough. So our cache resolutions are going to be a list. Hooray. List resolution. Cache resolutions, and that I can say equals new. List resolution. All right, and this is where it's going to be a little fun. We're going to say resolution screen resolutions. And actually, I'm not going to do this in open. I'm going to have to do this somewhere else, so I don't do it every single time I open it. I only need to do it the first time, which I guess means I could move this actually to on awake, couldn't I? That would probably help. Let's go down here to awake. And I guess after everything, we'll do it. So resolution, screen resolutions. I'm going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than screen resolutions dot length I plus plus. And this is going to be fun. So vector 2, we'll just call it res equals new. Vector 2, 0f, 0f. Res dot x is equal to screen resolutions of I dot width. Res dot y is equal to screen resolutions of I dot height. And then if not cache resolutions dot contains res cached resolutions dot add. Oh, right. Okay. Probably don't need them to be resolutions, do I? I can probably make them just vector 3s or vector 2s. Even better. Let's do that. Bump that up. Bump that up. All right. So we're adding all of our cached resolution stuff. Do I have anything else I really need to do there? Nope, pretty much that's it. So that should store all of those width and height values for us. And you know what? I might do something similar for cached refresh rates. That's problematic, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know if there's ever a point where you could have a resolution and a refresh rate and not have every other resolution have that refresh rate. The only thing I can think of is, say, 4K. Because I know that sometimes 4K doesn't support a refresh rate of 120 or even 60. Sometimes it mandates 30. So I would actually have to be a little bit more nuanced in the supported resolutions and not aspect ratios, supported refresh rates. Cache resolutions are just width and height. That's vector 2s. But cached refresh rates are probably going to need to be, oh god, a vector 2 with a list of floats. Wonderful. Well, as a quick test though, resolution r dot, is that an int or it's okay? So it's an int then, a list of ints. Okay. So we're gonna have to do this. Private dictionary vector 2 list and cached refresh rates equal to dictionary blah blah blah. Okay. Alright, let's try to populate that. I do not know how well this is going to go, but I'm going to give it a shot. So for blah blah blah, less than screen resolution, it's not linked. Alright. And what we're going to do here is say if not cached refresh rates dot dot contains key res cached refresh rates dot add res new list int. Okay, so a new list, and then we're going to say if not cached refresh rates of key dot contains screen resolutions of I dot refresh rate. No, I'm sorry, not key, res. I did a lot of stuff at work today that had key as that. Anyway, if it doesn't contain that, then we will say cached refresh rates of res dot add screen resolutions of I dot refresh rate. All right, fun times. So that should probably just compress these. Don't need the space between them. So that should add all of our resolutions without having duplicate width and heights, and it should keep a list of supported refresh rates, and then automatically adjust to the lowest one if for some reason you change to a aspect ratio or to a resolution that has a different refresh rate than what you currently have selected. So that means our refresh rate is actually going to need something similar to our resolution stuff, isn't it? Well, for now it's fine. Where did I put it? Oh, and before I forget, I am going to need, I guess it's an int. It's going to just be private int resolution index is equal to 0, and private int refresh rate index is equal to 0. And this is just so that I know where I am in relation to the cycle of all of the resolutions and all the refresh rates. Okay. So we're going to set all that fun stuff. Get And okay. Yeah, that's fun. I'm gonna get rid of the string.format stuff, and I'm just gonna make it a straight string concatenation. So we won't do that. Plus x. Oh, I forgot my plus. I was like, why are you squiggled? Okay. And same thing here. All right, simple as that. And cache refresh rate, I do have a point there because I believe technically Power Regions, it's not a flat 59, it's 59.9. Because why not? Okay. And once that's all done, we're going to have some fun here. And we're going to have to say... I need to find my indexes. So I'm going to have to do, after all of that fun stuff, we're going to have to say resolution index is equal to cached resolutions index of, and that's going to be new vector 2. Hey Garrett! Welcome to tonight's Devstream. How's it going? It's going pretty well. We ended up focusing more on the UI stuff because I was examining some of the stuff I've done in the past and I needed to rework it. So currently I'm changing our display options resolution stuff. Instead of being a massive drop down, it's going to be a left and right arrow box, similar to what you see in a lot of games. So we're going to have it set up so that it will properly generate those values and cycle through them. And it'll update which resolution it is, as well as the aspect ratio, so you can see what a resolution's aspect ratio is, as well as allowing us to change our refresh rate. Because right now it seems like our refresh rate gets locked at 60 hertz, and I don't know if that's a computer setting that I have, or if it's just something weird with Unity, and it could be either one of those two things. So that's what we're doing right now. How are you tonight? Let's see. So we want cache resolution index of new vector 2, and that's going to be cache resolution width and cache resolution height. Pow. Pow. All right. So if that's -1, then it's just going to get set to 0, I guess, which is not ideal, kind of, but we'll live with it. And we're going to have to do something similar with our refresh rate index. So let's see, refresh rate index. There we go. Equals cache refresh rates index of, and this is going to be instead. Ah, crap. Frack. Crud. Okay. It's gonna have to be this, won't it? Yep. Dot index of and cached refresh rate. Okay. Well, let's hope that that doesn't break at any given point. I probably should have safety checks in there. Cool. I've written all the code a couple of times myself. First hot day of the year out here, so I have the AC cranked and drinking nice water. I decide what to do the next big game. Sounds exciting. I'm glad you're staying cool. I came home to find that my refrigerator was slightly ajar, so just I guess it had been open for almost I don't know, probably 20 hours. That's great. None of the food went bad in there, fortunately, but you know, still kind of bad. Let's see here. Are you still working on the RPG stuff? Or are you thinking of another next big game? I need a safety check in here, so I'm going to have to do if cached refresh rates dot contains key, and you know what, screw it, I'm going to make this an actual vector value. vector 2 res is equal to this. Index of res contains key res, and then res. That way I'm not constantly making new vector 2s. All right. And if it doesn't, then I guess I'm going to have to say refresh rate index is equal to 0. Yeah, I don't really have a good option here. Because I don't want it to be -1. That would be the worst thing possible. So I guess I'm just going to have to do this. Mathf dot max cache resolution index of that and 0. That way I know that it won't be a -1, so it won't be an index out of range or index out of range exception. Yeah, the RPG game, starting to realize it might be too big a game, too many systems. Thinking about turning it into a medieval farm simulator, sort of like survival game, but versus the environment. That makes sense. Yeah, RPGs are kind of they're big. There have definitely been those times where I'm like, you know, it would be really cool an RPG, and then I immediately smack myself on the back of the head and was like, no, that's right. No, you're right. I feel like they're entirely doable for small teams, but you just have to sink so much time in it, and you have to just put so much effort into making it different from Skyrim or any Elder Scrolls game, because any slight comparisons to it will just trample you, no matter how good it is. Let's see here. So we get our indexes, which I think is fine. The next thing we need to do is actually set up our values. Well, no. Let's see here. So once we set those up, I think we can just come down here to our on next resolution, collect, and say index or resolution index plus plus, and say if resolution index is greater than or equal to cached resolutions count. Then we'll say resolution index is equal to 0. And down here, we're going to do the inverse. We're going to say index minus minus. If it's less than 0, we're going to set our resolution index to be equal to the count minus 1. And then that means we're going to have to update our text to say resolution value label dot text is equal to cached resolutions of index dot x plus cache resolution index dot y. Okay, that should be good. And then we have the fun part. Do I want to just cache that? Because it's going to get tedious typing that. But it would generate garbage, so I guess I'm going to have to do that. Yay. I think the turning point was doing realistic human NPCs with dialogue and quests all Skyrim. That's a ton of work. Yep. Yeah. Any sort of humanoid animations suck. Because they are incredibly easy to make uncanny, and it takes a lot of effort to make them not look terrifying. It's just something that's really hard to do. Let's see here. So we set our text here. That means we got to set our aspect ratio next, which is going to be aspect ratio value label dot text is equal to. For now, it's not going to be anything, and that's because I'm going to have to say. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit of shorthand, but I think it'll work. So screen utility or screen extensions dot 16 dot aspect ratio 16 by 10, is that what it was? Yep. So we're going to say if cached resolutions of resolution index dot x, nope, dot y divided by cache resolutions blah 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 dot x. If that's equal to the 16 by 10 aspect ratio, then it's going to be something. If not, it's going to be something else. And that something else is going to be 16 by 9. Not 19 by 9, 16 by 9. And if it does, then it's going to be 16 by 10. Those are the only two aspect ratios that I'm supporting. And that might be it. Yes. Okay. And then I guess if you hit apply, it's going to have to do a confirm. Ah, crap. Crap. All right. Well, we'll see what it looks like first. So right now, it's not going to actually end up changing our aspect ratio, but we'll at least be able to cycle through it to make sure that it works. Because with this system, I can't have it automatically change the adjust the resolution until you hit apply. Otherwise, it gets incredibly tedious to cycle through them, so I can't do that. Exactly, I think if you have non-realistic art style, you can get away with non-realistic NPC behavior, but since I'm probably going to do realistic, yeah. Realistic art styles are, they're very, very hard to do. That's why I choose to avoid them entirely. Let's see. For now, I think that's pretty much all I have to do for the next and previous button stuff. So let's copy this. It's going to be the exact same thing down here. And that might be all we need to do for now to just test that cycling functionality and make sure it works. So yeah. Okay, and out of curiosity, I am also going to stick some debugs down here. Mostly here on the refresh rates, because I'm actually curious if I do have more than 60 hertz as my refresh rate or not. So let's see, debug.log screen resolutions of i.refresh rate. Just kind of curious to see what that looks like. All right. In all honesty, I think that going for a realistic art style on an RPG is... I mean, I understand why it's done. It's to help immerse you, but at the same time, it exponentially increases the difficulty for making art assets. And I feel like if you can find a way to do it, a non-realistic art style in an RPG is actually a very appealing aesthetic. JRPGs are fairly good at it. It really depends on your aesthetics, honestly, or your opinion on aesthetics. Because I tend to like JRPGs art styles. They're realistic proportionally, but they're not realistic aesthetically. So they can get away with more cartoony animations, which just lets you have a little bit more fun, I think, and it makes it a little bit easier to do stuff. Anyway, let's see. Do I need to do anything else? No, I'm just going to turn this off, hit apply, and we're going to test it. Just to... Oh, wait. Yes, I did almost forget something, which is going to be our resolution button here is not going to have a highlight. That should do it. Hit apply. I'm curious to see how that handles things, so we'll see. I also don't know if the buttons are going to cover the other button, so the resolution next and previous buttons, if they'll cover the actual resolution giant button, and then make the hint go away. We'll find out. All right, so start. Let's see here. We want options, display. Nope, it's fine. Although I could probably change that to... Yeah, no, it's fine. Oh, I guess I need to make my background not black. Okay. Oh, actually, before I do that, I need to refresh all of this stuff to make sure that it's correct. which I think it is for the resolution at the very least, because that code already existed, but I need to do it for the aspect ratio. Where are we? Let's come up here. Oh, and did I actually apply those? No, I didn't. Okay, so let's do that real quick. Prev resolution button on click add listener on previous resolution clicked, so nothing would have happened anyway. Next button on click add listener on next resolution clicked. All right, and we're gonna copy what we did up there, mostly this, and we're gonna go up to here, and we're just gonna say resolution index. So after this all gets set, we're gonna change this to res.y, res.x. Okay, good. Let's see what happens. I think that's gonna work. I should probably debug these values while I'm here too. So debug.log resolution index, and we'll make that one big debug. Plus new line, and screw new line, we'll do that. Plus refresh rate index. So that should give me what both of those values are, and all of our buttons should hopefully actually work. And while we're here, let's go ahead and change those colors. There we go. Unity had to compile. I always hate it when it takes forever. Let's see. So we want to change our previous... Oh no, we want the background colors to change. So these are going to be white. That should fix that issue. Let's apply there. And save and go. Haha! Testing. Start. Options, display. Yep, hooray! So that updated. Yep, and that's exactly what I was talking about, how it would snap down if you did that. So we were at 2 and 0. That's fair. Wait a second, that doesn't make sense. How... Why is a 4K resolution before a 16 by 9 resolution? Also, are none of these 16 by 10? What the heck is happening here? Is that right? Seriously, none of these are 16 by 10s? No, that can't be right. One of these has to be 16 by 10. Because you can't have the same height and different width and not be a different resolution or a different aspect ratio. Really? I thought that Unity would sort... Well, I guess... Huh. That's very annoying that Unity doesn't sort them. Great. So yeah, there's definitely 16 by 10 resolutions in here. It's just not working like it should. Great. That's disappointing. Okay. So then guess what we get to do? Let's see. How would I want to sort those, though? I guess it would have to be by width. I mean, that's fine. So let's just say blah, blah, blah. Cached refresh rates. Or, nah, let's see. Yeah, cache resolutions. Dot sort. And I always forget how to do I think it's like, hold on. Let's take a look at my UI. I know I'm doing it. Dang it. I didn't mean to close the UI. And that's not going to be easy to look at. Of course. There's going to be a lot of classes tagged with UI. Yeah, that's not fun. Fine. Game view. And And let's see here. Where are you? There should be something in UI that does it, but I guess it probably doesn't care. So let's go to game view. Come on. Find all references. Where's my UI? There we go. I always forget how to do the lambda sorting stuff. Sort. Sort menus. Go to definition. There we go. I knew it's like a lambda type thing, but it's always weird. I don't use it enough to fully memorize it. So we want a dot x compared to b dot x, and I think that's probably fine. Oh, by area. That makes sense. Although I guess, well, area is probably the more absolute way to be sure. So you just multiplied a or x times y and compared whatever the largest was. But sorting by width should ensure that you get ones that have the same width but different heights in sequential order. So for example, you'd have 1280 by 720 and then 1280 by 768. Both one after another. You wouldn't get something in between them if there was another resolution that was close to them, but technically in between their areas. But you would get absolutely correct order from least area to greatest area, so size-wise, if you sorted by area. But I think sorting by X will get you a better or a more intuitive listing, at least. That's just my personal opinion, though. Let's see here. So after that, I'm going to do the same thing with, I guess, our refresh rates. So we're going to want to say cached refresh rates. Bollocks. This is going to be really annoying because I have to do it for all of my screen resolutions again. Yep. How wonderful. For int I equals 0, I is less than cached resolutions dot count I plus plus. Say cached refresh rates of cached resolutions of I dot sort A comma B return A dot, I can just say straight up A dot compared. I actually probably don't even need to do a sort function. I bet I could just have sort be in there and it would work. I really should turn my resolution picker stuff into a Unity asset. Yeah. I haven't actually looked to see if there is a convenient resolution manager on the asset store. Because it is kind of a tedious thing to code. So if you came up with one and put it up there, it'd probably do fairly well if one doesn't already exist. Okay, so I think that should do it. Okay. The other thing I wanted to do was put in a debug here. So go to definition and so I'm going to debug this basically. So debug.log. And then I will also say plus, let's do a divide, and then plus screen extensions dot 16 by 10 plus another divide plus screen extensions dot aspect ratio 16 by 10. That way I can see what my values are. It could be a floating point error, at which point that would be weird and quite frustrating. Or my math could just be terrible. Wait a second. Okay, nope, yeah, that's pretty much right. So we'll find out. All right, let's go ahead and hit play. I've actually been working on an asset to put on the asset store for the past like 6 months now. 7 months? Yeah, about 7 months. It's coming along nicely. Oh my god, Windows. Options, display. Okay. So 17, that's... And there we go. Now the real question is... Dang it, I didn't do it on 60. Oh, that's the... Okay. Yeah, I forgot I should have. Yep, I put it on previous only. Hey, I should have hit back instead of quitting because now we gotta wait like 2 minutes. I was wondering why I wasn't showing up. I'm like, what the heck's going on? So yeah, I guess for some reason my refresh rate is just all of them are 60. Which I assume is either because of my second monitor, which is only a 60 hertz refresh rate, which I assume means that the OS is just locking down my refresh rate to 60. But that doesn't seem right. I thought that well, I don't know. Maybe programmatically it's doing that, so when it tries to access resolutions, it sees that a monitor is at 60 and assumes that it can't go above that. I don't know. Cat wants attention, though. Let's see here. Let's clear that. I think most small devs just rely on the regular Unity start screen resolution picker and don't do it in game one. I know, but that's lazy. So I don't want to do that. I actually hate that thing. I've hated that thing since I've ever had to since I first laid eyes on that thing. I hated it. And there's nothing wrong with it, really. It's just I feel like people should put in the effort to have an in-game one. Because I feel like it comes off as lazy if you don't. But that's speaking as a programmer, someone who can actually dive into the code and do that. There is no problem doing it if it's a quick game jam game or if you don't know how to program. But I feel like once you figure out how to do settings inside of Unity, it's basically just copy paste your code because you're not doing anything special per game. It's all the same. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I do like that the hint shows up no matter where I am in this area, no matter what I'm hovering over. What the heck? Did I do it stupidly? Oh, dang it. Whatever. Hold on. Let's go up here. Was I just dividing it in a really, really dumb way? I was. Duh. Because I divide 16 by 9 and 16 by 10, not 10 by 16. So that was me being silly. Okay. So that should help with that. I suppress it because I use rewired for input, and rewired doesn't use regular Unity remapper. So if I show that dialog and people use remapper, won't work in game. Yeah, and that's a whole other thing. That's still a can of worms that I have not really opened. Is input binding. I too have rewired, and it's in the project, but I haven't done anything with it yet because when I first imported it, I wasn't completely done mechanically. So I didn't know what people could potentially do. But now I've pretty much got it locked down to run, or to move, sprint, jump, and crouch. And I guess click. But that's pretty much it. Display. It's still off. Is it because I didn't change those? Oh yeah, it's because I missed one. That's fine. It doesn't matter. As long as it actually updates. Which it's not, so that... Okay. Yeah. What the heck? How is it so wrong? What am I doing? Like, how are these numbers so far off from one another? Hold on. let's see, what was it? So 720 by 480. 1.5. What the heck? Did I just approach that in the stupidest way possible then? Yeah, I guess that would make sense, wouldn't it? Hmm. So that's actually not what I want to do. Instead, I think I would want to do this. And then what was the number? 480. Yeah, that's not right. Okay. Wow, I guess I just completely thought of the wrong way that to check for resolution, and it was just way off. Huh. Okay. I would have thought for sure that since an aspect ratio is 16 by 9, that it would have a consistent division value, and you could just use that. Um, and is that technically correct? No. Although, hold on. Some of those were really close. Like that. That is 16 by 9 through and through. And that is 1.6, but it still didn't update you. Why didn't you update? Okay. So that way of checking is not a valid way of checking. Plus or minus 5% fudge factor. That makes sense. That's just so weird. So resolutions aren't really 16 by 9. They're just roughly 16 by 9. Ew. That is really disgusting. Ugh. Okay. Wow. So... Dang it. That means... Ew. Yep. How wonderful. Okay. So I have to change some of this stuff real quick. And instead of a float, it's going to have a range, I guess. So a vector 2. Not great. I would have liked to have kept it simple. But not really a thing, I guess. Alright, fine. Let's go ahead and change that then. So... float ratio is equal to 16f divided by 10f. All right. And then this is going to be a vector 2. And this is going to be return new vector 2. I guess I should probably cache this, but for now I'm just going to make sure that it works. And that's going to be ratio minus equals ratio times so 0.05 f, then comma, same thing, but plus equals. Oh, and also it should just be plus, not plus equals. There we go. That seems like that would be correct. So let's just copy this, move it up to 16 by 9, see if it works. So hopefully this will actually, it may be plus or minus a few lines. Yeah, I guess that's true. It's just, for some reason, I thought that it was, what? Oh, right. I always assumed, I just never looked, actually. I just always assumed that when an aspect ratio is 16 by 9, that its width divided by its height would give you the same ratio as 16 divided by 9. I have no idea why I just naively thought that would be true. I should have known much better. But then again, like I say, past Chris was an idiot. Let's see, so... God, this sucks, because this is going to break a lot of stuff. a lot of stuff. Ugh. Okay. Um, well, let's see what happens. There we go. And let the errors commence. We're going to have a little bit of fun here. Yep. All right. So for this, I guess it's going to be something more like else if mathf dot inverse lerp aspect ratio 16 by 10 dot x aspect ratio 16 by 10 dot y and aspect. So if that's the case, so if we inverse that and it is crap. I was gonna say if it's greater than or equal to 0, and then we have to do it again. And that's less than or equal to 1. That means it's within those parameters, and therefore it is valid. Let's copy that, paste this in right here. So 16 by 9, 9, 9, and 9. Not to mention floating points never seem to be exact. Yeah, that's very true. A lot of times if you have a floating point number and it's compared to another one and they look the same, they're not. UI test view, oh, wonderful. Aspect fitter, crap. See, and this is the reason why I did it. Because aspect fitters have a float aspect ratio. So I assumed that they were just always correct, but that is not the case. So, highly infuriating, highly infuriating. Just really, really annoying. So I guess that means that it's going to be just 16f divided by 9f. And 16f divided by 10f. Huff. So it is, I wash my hands of responsibility. I blame Unity, because their aspect ratio fitters take a float, which is not a vector 2, and therefore is much more difficult to use. Alright. Let's see here. Clear you, go up here. Yep. Okay. I'm actually going to change this, and I'm going to, let's see, get aspect ratio. Crap. Okay. We're going to have another one in here then. So there's going to be public bool. What do I want it to be? In, I guess, is aspect ratio. That's kind of awkward. Int width, int height, and then aspect ratios. Ratio, or I guess aspect ratio. Aspect ratio. All right. Do I have? Nope, I don't apparently. Huh. All right. I thought that I had a convenient way of getting these, but I guess I do not. Hooray. Alright, that's fair. Crap. So that means it's just going to be a switch statement here. Switch. Aspect ratio. Case. Aspect ratios dot. We'll work our way. We'll just use 16 by 9, 16 by 10 for now. Break. 16 by 10. How much would you pay for a one scene or one screen UI with a resolution picker on the asset store? $1, $5, $10. Support WinMax Linux. Well, I assume that a lot of that stuff for Windows, Mac, and Linux is similar. I assume there's some partial differences, but for the most part, it should probably be a fairly unified format. I'd say you'd probably be fine with $10, depending on what you did. If it was just a resolution picker, then 5. But if it did, yeah, well, Mac resolutions are usually 16 by 10, and they're Retina resolutions, which means they're super high res. So if you had a convenient way of handling that, that would be another thing. Anyway, so let's see. If it is an aspect ratio, we're going to have to do basically this. Oh, I guess actually that's just what get aspect ratio is, isn't it? So, okay. And in that case, I'm just going to do this. Let's close display options view. So I guess we would just do screen extensions dot get aspect ratio res dot x res dot y is equal to aspect ratios dot 16 by 10. Let's go back over here. For the sake of convenience, I will add a public static aspect ratios, get aspect ratio, float width, float height, return, get aspect ratio, int width, int height. Ta-da! Much easier. All right. So I guess we'll see what this is. So, yay. Normally the Retina Mac normally the Retina resolutions aren't even reported in Unity. I have a Mac laptop used for 1D. Really? I get them pop up all the time. In fact, when TextQuest is shown on Mac, I always need to double check that it's booting up to use a resolution closer to 1920 by 1080 instead of the crazy 2700 thing that it tries to use. Let's see. Yeah, right. Crap. So we're going to have to do that whole thing here. That whole song and dance. Let's see. This. Actually, hold on. Gross. All right, hold on. Oh, I guess I can probably just do this then, can't I? Double click. And set you up to be here. All right, so let's try this again. Or I could click on the Epic Games Launcher. That works too. That's like it's like having Unity compile everything. I wonder if that's a recent change in the OS or Unity. I mean, I've had it. That happened every time I've shown it at a convention. Whenever I open up a new build, it's always defaulted to the massive Retina resolutions. And the only reason that I noticed is because the game starts to chug really hard. And whenever I go to resolutions to check it, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, no, that would be right. Why? It's trying to run this at 3K. And a Mac laptop is not good for that. So start. Options, display. Dang it. 16 by 10. That is not correct. I bet they're too close. I probably need to shrink it down. Oh. There we go. Wait, what? Hold on. How the heck? Hold on. That's because I screwed up that. This is still wrong, isn't it? Yeah. So this needs to be X and Y. Okay. And we are doing comparisons of X and Y, so that should work in theory. So I might have to change that fudge value a little bit. So let's go up here. We're going to do private const float aspect fudge amount is equal to 0.025 maybe. So 2.5%. I probably need to copy that so it's a little bit easier. That's not what I experienced. I had to download a special driver thingy to force a whole OS to max resolution before launching 1D. In your custom one or in the drop-down, like the Unity drop-down one? So like the default Unity resolution picker. What am I doing here? Oh, right. It's up here. Times U, times U, and times U. It operated the same way. Yeah. And it could also have been that my approach was when you first start up TextQuest, its resolution is set to the screen's resolution. So it doesn't actually ping the monitor to see what resolutions it supports. It just says, what are you running at? And then it goes from there. So it could be possible that it didn't actually show those in the dropdown, but it just set it to that when I ran it. I don't remember if it did actually detect like what my options were when I went to resolutions. I just remember that it had the resolutions I was looking for. I think the OS was lying to Unity since it wasn't marked as supports Retina or something. Huh. I don't know. Options display. Okay, so let's go next. So okay. Wait, hold on. How on earth is this 16 by 10? Because we have 1.7777 and our 16 by 10 values are 1.6 each. Whereas our 16.9 or our 16 by 9 are 1.7 and 1.8. What is going on here? Did you get the current res from Unity or the OS? It was just the default screen space or screen command. So I looked at screen.current resolution, I believe, and that just pops out whatever it currently is set to. What is up with this? Maybe it's my math? So 17 should definitely be above 1. Oh, you know what it is? I bet I did something stupid. I bet. Hold on. Does inverse lerp, is that clamped between 0 and 1? I could have sworn that it wasn't. Except it has to be. Otherwise I don't quite know. All right, well, let's debug this then. So debug.log. We shall find out if it's clamped or not. Debug.log. Yeah, and I mean, I don't disagree with you that Mac resolutions are super weird. They're definitely my least favorite builds to make, but that's why I forced myself to have a Mac laptop. so that I will always have to make them, and I will never be able to claim ignorance. So it's also a nice toaster test because my game should be able to run at 1080p on a Mac laptop. Currently, it doesn't actually. It has to run at 720p, which is embarrassing. Not like I'm doing anything expensive. Options, display. Okay, so let's hit next here. You were 16 by 9 before. So what are you set to now? It is. It's clamped. Dang it. Jeez, that sucks. Darn it. Yeah, that shouldn't be. Well, maybe it's not clamped. It might just be really close. Have you done a Linux build? I've not. I think I made a test build a long time ago. I never actually tested it though. I just tested to see if I could make the build. And yeah, Mac GPUs suck. They're integrated GPUs. They're not standalone usually. Outside of the really tippy-top high-end Macs, you're not going to get a discrete graphics card. Okay, I'm going to say .toString, and I'm going to give it a lot of trailing zeros, so 0.00000. Because I would like to guarantee that this is coming out as a solid 1, or not. And actually, no, that can't be right. It can't be clamped, because if it was clamped, then it would never get to 16 by 9. It would always just get to 16 by 10. So that's not great. Why is it not working properly? And I mean, these aren't exactly what I would consider floating point error amounts, although I guess it is, to be fair, kind of far down there. Start. Options, display. Is it just at 1? 1.0? Which makes no sense because... how? Am I doing something stupid with my code here? Inverse lerp. Should give you a value between 0 and 1, with A being 0, B being 1, and value being the thing in between them. So why is it giving me a solid 1 when my value has to be... It clearly can't be. It's coming out as a solid 1. That makes no sense. Got a higher end Mac laptop with 2 GPUs, the crappy Intel one and a decent AMD one. Mainly the OS switches automatically, and it doesn't seem to like there's a way to force it to one or the other. Yeah, I know that to actually test it in integrated graphics mode, if you have a discrete GPU, you have to jump through a lot of hoops. We had to do something like that at work because a client was seeing an error since she had a integrated GPU only, and it was causing odd issues that we weren't seeing on our work computers because we have actual GPUs. Okay. So if inverse lerp is not going to work, then I guess I can just do the tried and true method of just saying, I don't know why I didn't do that. That's simpler. Duh. If, I feel silly overcomplicating this. If aspect is greater than aspect ratio 16 by 10 dot x, or I guess greater than or equal to, and aspect is less than aspect ratio 16 by 10 dot y. And let's just hope that this is enough of a difference that they'll actually work. We'll find out now, won't we? This is also just a lot simpler code-wise. I don't know why I didn't do this, because I'm a fool. I'm like, no, it has to be complicated. Oh, crap. I hear all kinds of horror stories with those integrated GPUs. Yeah, but they're kind of what you have to plan for if you want to ship on Macs. So, again, it's really nice to have a Mac device to test on because it lets you know immediately where your choke points are, performance-wise. Um, but yeah, it's not exactly the best thing ever. It definitely has problems, and I do wish that I could, if that I would that I could have just like a really nice, powerful Mac, or not Mac, but PC laptop, because then I could lug this around to conventions and actually show people in high res and all that. But that's kind of a false idol situation, I guess. I really should limit myself to what people might be running. So the fact that I'm shackled to it's not a low end. I think it was the top end of the 13-inch MacBooks or MacBook Pros. So it's decent. It's not a crap computer, but it's clearly, in terms of gaming, way underpowered, especially for its price. Start options, display. Ooh, we're pretty close. 16 by 9. That's good. Good. Shite. That's problematic. That number is way farther than either of these ranges. But it has to be 16 by 9 or 16 by 10. So, crud. Well, let's keep going. Wait, that's 4 by 3? That is 4 by 3. How's that 4 by... What? Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, 1024 by 76. I turned those off, I thought. Is it just detecting them then? That might be the case. That's interesting. So, you should be 16 by 10. Crud. Okay, well, we're going to change some of this a little bit. I'm going to change my fudge rate back up to 0.5. And then I'm going to check my supported resolutions to make sure that I don't support 4 by 3. Because I thought that if you tell Unity, at least in the past, they might have changed this actually. In the past, if you told Unity not to support a specific aspect ratio, then that aspect ratio would not show up in your screen's available resolutions. So that was a quick and dirty way of doing that, but maybe that's changed, or maybe I'm just an idiot and I have my project settings messed up. Player. Come on, compile, Unity. You can do it. I believe in you. Let's see. Yeah, see, only 16 by 10, 16 by 9. Huh. Well, crap. So that must have changed, because it did used to actually ignore those things if you used a screen, or if you used screen.supported resolutions. That's wonderful. Oh no, don't play. Why did I do that? I didn't mean to do that. Although, actually, I guess it will prove useful. So we can see if the 16 by 10 resolutions are actually being detected as 16 by 10. Yeah, that's the thing, is that means that I'm going to have to manually make sure that they're within these realms. Are those 16 by 10? Well, I guess they were. So that's 16 by 9, and that's 16 by 10. Okay. So yeah, I think you were right. 16 by, or a 5% increase or decrease. seems to be a good catch-all. So, alright. We'll do that. And hope that it works. So that means that here in display options view down here, I'm going to have to say if screen extensions dot get aspect ratio res dot x res dot y. I'm actually going to change that. So we're going to say aspect ratio is equal to dot 16:9. Ratio is equal to that. And if aspect ratio, or if ratio is equal to ratios dots crud. Darn it. And ratio does not equal ratio is not 10. Continue. Apparently I messed that up. There we go. So we're gonna say if it's not a 16:9 or a 16:10 resolution, then we're gonna skip this one and not add it. So let's go ahead and test that, see if that works. Harumph. That's kind of annoying. Yeah, and this is what I was doing for resolution. I had default as full screen and default as native resolution. So that, I believe that basically bypasses any actual check. So it doesn't see if the GPU reports it as a supported resolution. It just says, what are you running at screen? And then it does it. That's how I've gotten around some of that stuff in the past. Come to think of it, I wonder if there's any standard Unity input remapping UIs in the store. I mean, I think Rewired technically has one included with it. So that would be a bit more of a tough sell. Start. Options, display. A little bit of a hang up there, that was kind of weird. 16:10, 16:10, 16:9. Am I getting any weird numbers here? Nope, it all looks like it's roughly within that. Okay. Yeah, hooray! So that fixed that problem. Wait, so really? I don't have resolutions that are below 1080 or 1280? Huh. I would have thought that my GPU would actually support minuscule ones too, but apparently not. Alright. So yeah, 1920 by 1080. We get our aspect ratio over here, and our refresh rate is right there. Which itself does not actually refresh for some weird reason. Again, I assume it's because the OS is seeing that my left monitor is only able to go to 60, as opposed to my right, which can go up to 144. So that'll be something I actually have to test, probably not when I'm streaming, but when I disconnect my left monitor, because that will usually unlock some extra stuff. Since most OS operations will try to map to the minimum, not to the maximum. So my left monitor is probably chaining things down a little bit. Okay. So the next step for this is probably going to be getting it to actually apply. Unfortunately, it's not quite the same as it was before. So before, what I would do is when you clicked on the resolution button, it would pop up all of your resolutions that were possible. You would select the one you wanted, and then it would say, do you want to keep these settings? And you would type in yes, or you type in confirm or cancel, I believe. And now we can't really do that. Instead, we're going to have to do, you can scroll through these, and when you're done, you'll have to come down here to apply, but that means that apply no longer is going to actually return. So right now, if we hit apply, it'll just go back to options. But we can't do that anymore. That means that we're going to have to actually have it. So if I adjusted this and I hit apply, or I typed in A, it's going to have to do the confirm dialog. And that means that apply is going to have to. Oh, geez, that sucks. Okay, so that means that apply is going to be reserved. It's not going to. It's no longer going to be just do it and apply all these settings. It's going to be a thing that asks you to confirm all of your settings, and then cancel is going to have to be changed to back. Because I don't want to have apply, cancel, and back. So, ew, that's not great. That's not great at all. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and stop playing so that we have the obligatory 50 seconds of cooldown on it. Interesting. So they put up a UI input mapper or an actual system for input mapping. I gotta figure out what's doing this. It drives me nuts. Just gotta sit here and wait until it finishes unloading everything, I assume. But it's not really that intense, and it didn't used to do this. So I wonder what it is. Either way. Okay, so we can get rid of these debugs real quick. I no longer need them. And I am going to have to convert all of this stuff later. That's going to be fun. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and save. This stuff. Okay, that's the same. I'm just going to comment this out for now because I'm going to need that when I'm actually doing things. And I think that's it. Compile. Shazam. The system? Okay. Here we are. Let's get rid of this stuff. Okay, don't really need you anymore. Ta-da! Alright. And let's see up here. Right, so let's let that compile. Let's turn on our UI. Clicked on it right as Unity finished compiling, so we got a nice little hang frame there. Let's see here. So I'm going to turn you on, and I need to change the way some of these buttons work. So content grid. So right now navigation is set to automatic. I'm going to set navigation to none. That will fix the issue that we're having with the buttons staying hovered, or tinted as if they're being hovered. And since this game is only going to be available on PC, I don't need to worry about it. Ha ha ha! Navigation is pretty much only used for controllers. And I guess arrow keys, but we don't really use those. So, alright, and now we can go over here to resolutions, previous, same thing over here, none and none. Alright. Okay, so now we're going to have to change the logic around. So first we're going to turn you off, then we're going to hit apply here. And then I'm going to turn off the UI and actually go to my code. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. A common thing for people to do, though, as far as the asset store, is work on a system that they're going to use for their game and then say, you know, I bet other people would like this, so why not put it on the asset store with very minimal effort? Let's see, so display options view. So we're going to have to change some of this input stuff around. Okay, we can get rid of you. Don't need you anymore. And okay. And save, close, unsubmit. Right. So this is where it's kind of terrible. So if we hit apply, we're going to have to change this. So it's not going to be a UI.open anymore. Fortunately, this stuff's already coded for back. If it's So that doesn't actually need to change. It's just going to have to change visually, which is fine. It's not a huge issue. Let's see here. So that means that apply instead of if is checking, it's going to have to actually say there's a resolution UI up there for $2. Okay. Yeah, you're probably not going to beat that because cheap is very effective. So unless your tool does a lot of different things, which it might, and that might substantiate a $5 to $10 price range, but just be mindful of what other things are on the asset store. Because convenience will always win out, but cost is a very, very easy way to pull people in. And people are willing to put up with something that's way cheaper, even if it's worse. So unless it gets frustrating, usually cheap is a very effective way to do things. So unless you have a very convenient, very amazing tool set, it's going to be hard to sell people on that. Anyway. If it's checking. So we want it to be yes, right? So what this is doing is saying when you change your resolution, it asks you, is this the resolution you want? It will turn back, it'll revert in 10 seconds. Type yes to confirm, and if you don't type in yes, which is just 3 letters, so it shouldn't be that hard for people to do, within 10 seconds, then it'll reset. Originally, I think it was confirm, and that was a little too many letters to do in 10 seconds for some people. So yes is, I think, a better way to go. Anyway, so where are you? Is it just update settings? No. Oh, come on. What is it? I have a. I guess it's just going to be down here, isn't it? On resolution button clicked. Here we are. So this is what I want to do. Except, hold on. I need to make sure that there's a reason to do that. So, okay. I think I'm going to have to check to make sure that my cache resolution is different from my current resolution. So give me a second here. So I probably want to do something like this. On submit, update show resolutions, hide resolutions, on apply clicked. Here we go, on next resolution clicked. So for this, I believe I'm going to want to say cached resolution is equal to this. No. I don't want to set cache resolution to that. I want to set active resolution to that. So if we go up here to open, I set a bunch of values. And we want to set... Okay, maybe not. That's what it is. Cache resolution width. Because cancel, if I remember correctly, just resets all those values. Yes. So I want to say... Dang it! No. Okay. So that means I need to have a value for that. I thought I already had a variable that was actually doing this. First off, I guess I'll get rid of some extra code real quick. Show resolutions, don't need you anymore. Don't need hide resolutions anymore. Don't need the on resolution clicked anymore. Let's go up here. Find all resolution button clicked. I'm going to comment this out for now. And okay, so there we go. And that means I can get rid of you. Alright, so I guess that means that my cache resolution is just going to be a thing that's set. No. Well, yep, nope, okay, yep. I was just trying to avoid really hard trying to avoid having to set or to create a new variable here, but I don't think I can get away from it. Private vector to active resolution. It's a new vector 2. 0 off, 0 off. And we're going to have to change this whenever we apply our resolution to settings, actually. So, oh, well, look at that. We could probably just assign it here, couldn't we? Let's rename this to active resolution. And ba-boom! Ha 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 ha! Perfect. And what do I need to do next? Sorry, I'm kind of like bleh. Been doing this for 3 hours now. Active resolution. Right. So whenever we change this, or whenever we hit apply, get rid of you. Don't need you anymore. Where did I put it? I put it up here, didn't I? So we're going to say if active resolution does not equal now. Dang it, I'm trying to think of how to compare these two. I believe I want to compare my resolution. Hold on. Let's cancel doing. Oh, so I just need to compare these two, I think. Okay. Resolution. Oh, width. If resolution width does not equal active resolution dot x, or resolution height does not equal active resolution dot y, then we will start our code. Nope, come on, work with me here. We'll start. Why are you unhappy? Oh, you're not. You're just indented weirdly. That's fair. All right. Oh, and that's going to be break, isn't it? Ta-da. Okay. I just kind of had like a massive brain fart. It slowed all of my productivity down. Let's see here. Resolution width. Yeah, so if they're not compared, if they're not correct, then we will start that coroutine. That's why I did not delete this stuff, so I can just come down here and copy it. Aha! And we're going to have to change this. Say vector 2, good. And that's good. Okay, so let's go to definition. It's all true. And on close, I'm willing to bet that I have it actually, yeah, saving settings. Okay. So that should be fine. Okay. Just real quick peek. Is checking good. Let's try it. Three-hour Devstream. Rare to have those. Very draining. I did not eat a lot before the Devstream, so I'm kind of hungry. Alright, so start. Options, display. Well, that didn't work. Oh, I know why it didn't work. Because I clicked on it. What is happening? Okay, hold on. What is happening here? I think I'm just going to change this to on apply clicked. We're going to go to definition here and change this. Gotta run for dinner. All right. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I mean, hopefully I should be able to get this to work, but if not, I'll probably shoot you a message, actually. Um, so thank you very much for the offer. Hopefully I'll be able to get this, though, within, like, the next 15 minutes, because I'm really hungry. So, let's see here. UI.open, options view. Don't need to do that anymore. Instead, we're going to do this. Okay. Oh, right, we didn't set our active resolution. Duh, that's why it didn't do anything. I feel so foolish. Now, let's see here. So when this changes, we're going to do this. Cached resolutions. Resolution index. There we go. Okay. All right. God, I feel myself just being very slow. Blood sugar's low. Need food. Developer need food badly. Start. Options, display. Apply. Oh! Oh, it did that again. Yay! Although I think that, yeah. Hold on. Uh, so I guess I'm going to have to change the cache resolution width and height. If this is right. Here, let's have a private void apply. I think that'll work. Maybe. Let's see here. Oh man, I'm just trying to think about when I want to adjust those cache settings values, because I no longer want them to only be set when you open the menu. They should also be set when you make a change and hit apply. So that's great. That means we're going to have to do pretty much everything here, but in reverse. Oh, and this. Let's see here. So we're going to want to say cached resolution width is equal to active resolution.x. And I know I need to convert that to an int. All right. Same thing here. I'll just copy and paste this. Except that y. There we The frame rate, that's going to be a little bit more difficult. It can probably be something like cache frame rate is equal to cached refresh rate. Oh, that's frame rate. Right, not refresh rate. Frame rate is somewhat more elusive. Hold on. Let me check some stuff. And we're going to say on refresh rate clicked. I don't need to do that on frame rate clicked. Here we are. Value, frame rate value. So we're actually setting it there, and that's manually doing it. Okay. So, God, that sucks because it just changes how we approach this stuff. Because cancel can no longer cancel. Or rather, the values that cancel sets should no longer be the ones that they came in as. Great. Okay. So let's change this. So what if we don't have an apply, but instead we update these to be what they should be? So let's go to check resolution, go to definition. Yeah, yep. Okay. Let's see what our yes command up here does. Yes is checking is set to be false. And that means that check resolution coroutine. So is checking gets set to false, which means that this shouldn't happen. So we're going to say else if not is checking, then, and I guess we'll also say not cancel checking. Where on earth does that get set even? References. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. All right, so if not is checking and not cancel checking, then our cached resolution width is going to be equal to resolution width. Cached resolution height, it's resolution, is equal to resolution height. Who knew? That's been resolution this whole time. Resolution. Okay. There we go. So that's that. And I guess cache resolution refresh rate? That doesn't seem to actually care. Okay. We're going to go to previous resolution clicked. Okay, yep. This is where it sucks. Sucks so hard. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I do need an apply. Private void apply. And it is literally going to be the reverse of this. I don't need to update settings, fortunately. So it's just going to be everything here in reverse. Oh my god, I'm exhausted. Do not like the 3-hour long dev streams. It's very taxing. It's not unusual for me to work this long. It's just that it's more taxing doing it while streaming. Okay, so we hit apply here. We are not going to do this. I'll leave it in there, but commented for now. because that's what the apply coroutine is going to do. So instead, we're going to come down here. We're going to say on apply clicked. We will call apply. That'll be fine because it'll set all of our frame rates all of our cache values to be what they currently are, which is fine because we're hitting apply. So that means that hopefully with this, it should basically cache those values that you just set, and then if you change the resolution, it's going to try to set that as well and do the coroutine for that, and we'll see if it ends up looking right. I'm a little curious as to why we get a little bit of odd banding, but we'll leave that alone for now. So let's give it a try, see what happens. What's happening? Start. Options, display. Actually, we'll leave it as this. Let's change our frame rate to 120 locked. Hit apply. Cancel. Display. Okay, good. Still 120. That's good. Let's bump that down to 60 again. Let's bump this up. We're going to hit apply. Yeah, this is weird. We're going to type yes. We'll hit apply. Oh, I didn't need to do that. We'll hit cancel. Display. Ha-ha! Success! Alright. Hit apply. Yes. And cancel. Yay. Okay. So that is brutal. Take a screenshot of that, and the last thing I think we're going to do is we're going to change that cancel to be a back button. And while this is going on, I'm going to drag that screenshot that I just took into the correct spot. So TextQuest, build, TextQuest assets, screenshots. Aha! Where is it? There it is. That's what we just took. And we have our nice new resolution bar up here. Ah, man. I am exhausted. Let's see. I think that's probably a... Oh. Well, that's interesting. It's re-importing the substance files. So it is something about the substance files then. That's interesting. I wonder what it is. I'll have to ask Unity about that. It's really weird. Anyway, so I think that's a pretty good place to stop for the night. I guess I need to change this wording real quick. We got... Oh, I can get rid of this too. Haha! So I got a lot of fun stuff I can do. We changed how our resolutions work. I think it's a lot more intuitive now. It's nowhere near as messy. It's a little more aesthetically pleasing, and we get our nice aspect ratio hints. Eventually, we're going to get our refresh rates also adjustable. Maybe. I might not be able to show that on the stream ever, because I have the second monitor that shows me the chat. So unless I want to work with one monitor only, I'm not going to be able to see that very well. So I'm going to have to test that probably on my own on the off time. But it seems like everything's working there. The resolutions are updating, and that makes me excited. Cancel button, so this is going to be called our back button now. And let's go ahead and change this. Back. Alright, we'll also need some other minor changes for this UI, such as when you click on the apply button, it should probably render the... let's go ahead and save this. I'm going to put a to-do in here. To-do, when clicked, make apply button non-interactive, or uninteractive? Non-interactive? Okay, fine. Set apply button interactive to false. There we go. Mostly because that way it'll help cut down on confusion, so people won't have to worry about well, it's white and I can click on it. Why isn't it doing anything? Um, but yeah, okay. I think that's a pretty good place to stop for the night. I am just brain dead. So we should be back on Thursday, and on Thursday, um, let's see, what's the game plan? We had an idea in the middle of the stream, and I don't remember what it was. So probably going to clean up a little bit more of the UI, or at the very least discuss what I changed a little bit, and then we'll bump into something a little bit more fun. Oh, right, benchmarking tool. That was the thing I was thinking of. That would be pretty cool. So we might do a benchmarking tool on Thursday to see if I can get like a fly-through of the castle level or something. I would probably just need to do a benchmarking tool on whatever level is currently loaded, which is going to be nuts. So, yeah. All right. That's a pretty good place to stop for the night. I am dead. I hope you all enjoyed that 3 hour long stream. Almost 3.5 hours actually. But yes, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.